Hey, what up? What up? What up? Peace, 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 people. I was hopeful that Kiki Loves Nigeria was going to go live right about now. She kept changing the time, and now she's changed the date. So, um, since she's not going live, I'm gonna go ahead and do a live. I want to talk about Floyd of Foreign Only. He is a passport bro. He had an unusual experience in Argentina because of the way that he looks. And I wanted to go over that because I feel as more and more passport bros from the United States will go abroad, we'll start having more and more issues like he had in Argentina. So I want to go over what he went through by his own words and understanding that basically we need to be mindful, how secure we are as Americans with our passport. But what would happen if you lost your passport? What would happen if someone mistaken you for being, say, a Nigerian? Would that seem to have happened to Floyd of Foreign Only? And he is a passport bro that typically dates non-Black women. And so he is bound to have this type of problem again and again and again. So I want to talk about that. Oh, that's okay, Kiki. I just had posted your live, though. I try to give more people to go watch it. But thank you for showing up in this live. The video gave me some problems and messed up my timing. Oh, that video gave you some problems? What video gave you some problems? The video you last did? You mean? So let's listen to what Floyd had to say in his own words. And I really sympathize that he really went through this. And I hope that other people would be aware that when you go abroad, you might be mistaken for an African. And there are, unfortunately, some Africans, such as Nigerians, they have a bad reputation. They have a bad reputation with fraud and scamming abroad. And so doing cyber crimes and cyber fraud and all these romance scams and Yahoo boys, all these different things that Nigerians do. And you could tell by the way he looks. You said they tried to get it removed. Oh, wow. So I had to do some things to the video. Oh, wow. I mean, it's unfortunate, Kiki, that people mistake our goal or our intention. And I know exactly what your intention is. Your intention is to inform, to enlighten, to make women aware that they're really not safe as they might believe it is to be by the standpoint of what Pan-Africans are preaching to us on. They're not that safe as singular women going to Africa. And you're trying to make us aware of that reality. But see, the thing is that nobody wants to warn Black Americans about anything. And what makes this so fucked up, really, Kiki, is that we should be joining forces like every other race does. They join forces to alert their people. They share information in between one another. They don't hoard the information and conceal it. We do. We're the only race of people that backstabs or wants to be the head honcho. They don't want to share information. They want to seem like they're the only person that's smart in the room when they're not enabling us to be smarter together. And so I back you, and I really applaud your efforts in bringing light to the deaths of the Gambia, because I wouldn't even have known, because I don't know the Gambia that much. I wasn't really paying attention other than Black X, particularly her and her scams, Bag and all of them. I really don't watch them. I'm not really, I don't know. There's something about them that just off-putting to me a little bit. So I never really watched the Bag family too often, but I do appreciate what you're doing. And I feel that we all should collectively help and assist with information so that we don't carry it forward with having these more unbelievable circumstances that keep befalling us. And this is another situation that others are not talking about. What happens if you're mistaken for someone else abroad? Shouldn't we talk about that? What should you do? What can you do? What could happen if someone just forces you to say, oh, we don't believe you. You are a Nigerian. Now let's listen to this.
Hopefully he's okay. I communicated with him, but what was it? So, Argentina is not for black folks. I've walked around the street. I've been getting them, but me looks directed towards me. I was invited to a dating show, so I might try that out tonight. But Argentina, for me personally, I've had a few tender matches. I've communicated with people, but it went nowhere. I've got some I've cold approached, but I ain't got no numbers. Now, you can say it's about the culture, but let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. The culture is not important. It's important, but it's not as important as building a family and having somebody. So Argentina is not for black folks. That's just my experience. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be extremely wrong. I could be hella wrong. But what I'm seeing in this country is this is Argentina's population of black people is less than 3. I think it's very low. It's a low percentage. I think in the single digits. It's like over 100. It's like over 400,000 is black, and I don't even see them. At least not in this city, though. In Buenos Aires. But I'm gonna be real with you, man. You gotta go where you're wanted. Now, I have videos about this city coming up. I've done some things around here. So, this country, man, I would not recommend coming here. I mean, you can come here, just say, just try it off your bucket list. But to say that you have it, to make it a priority, I wouldn't make it a priority. I'm sorry. When you walk outside, and they straight up mean mug you. And I mean this. I was literally walking past a few people, and they looked at me, and they gave me one of these looks. I'm going to show you the look, okay? I'm going to show you the look. Let me show you. Yeah, one of those looks. So you already know what time it is. For me, once I start receiving looks from people like that, I'm out. I don't care. Every country is different rules. You don't know how corrupt, how bad they want you, how much they can get you. I'm out. So I've booked my ticket out of here. I'm gone. Like, I try to stick it out, but when you're getting looks, like every time I walk outside, every time I go outside, they mean mug me. And it's like, okay, well, damn. And then when I went to immigration, literally when I went to immigration, they tried to say my passport was fake. And they didn't believe I was a U.S. citizen. They said, no, literally, they even said that they thought I was from Africa because I'm black. They tried to tell me in immigration, they held me in immigration for about 30 minutes, talking about how fake my passport is. And I'm like, okay, well, you want to think my passport's fake? Here's my.
Well, right now he is in Brazil, but before he made the decision to go to Brazil, he was trying to link up with Austin Hollerman to go to Argentina. But he is the one that got hemmed up at the immigration office about how he looks, and they didn't believe that he was an American because of how he looks. And so this situation, how many other times has it happened to other Americans that have gone abroad? Are there some cases where people were told that they weren't American and that they forced this deportation onto the American as if they were African? That's something that I want us to think about. But yes, he is a passport bro, Shino. Thank you also for coming through. This is when he was in Argentina, and he's discussing what had happened.
License. I showed them my driver's license, and then they let me go. And they didn't even in. And I'm not afraid of authority. Like, you know, I'm the type of guy that if you approach me, I live next up to the Capitol Police Department. There's a police department right across the street. So I'm not afraid of police or authority. But it is a bad sign when you think I'm fake. And then I go into the interrogation room, not because, what's that? It's that room where they hold all the people they think that are illegals. So I go into the like cell area, right? And I'm in the cell area in a foreign country. It's like a little holding cell. They escort me to a holding cell. And I'm like, what the fudge? I'm like, am I being arrested? What am I being arrested for? I just got here. Literally, I'm in a jail. Like, this is jail. And I'm telling you, when I tell you the jails don't look that good, they don't. I'm in this holding cell. And they're questioning me about my identity, thinking my passport's fake. And I'm like, are these motherfuckers? I'm like, I'm about to get mad. You know what I mean? You know me, I'm about to get mad. But I'm like, calm down. Austin's, doing his thing. I'm thinking about because he's my friend. So I'm like, okay, bro, you know what? I'm going to calm down. Because if it was me by myself, I would have flipped out.
And flipping out, which I think that he is bipolar. I'll get into that a little bit later, but he reminds me of a couple of people that I have seen that are bipolar. And I think he might be getting a check, a disability check of some sort. I'll tell you why that is a little bit later. But yeah, he thinks that he can buck back to another authority in another country. He is a fool if he thinks he can get away with it, because he's at the mercy of those people in that particular country, wherever he's at. So luckily he toned it down and the people finally believed him. But what if they did not believe him, though? Just think about it. And he does kind of look like a Nigerian. His forehead, his hairline, yeah, he does.
Because at this point, I want to leave. I'm thinking about leaving. So they hold me in the room. And for 30 minutes, they're discussing my passport. They bring me out. They tell me how much money I got on me. They asked me to show proof of pay stubs because I didn't have a credit card. Apparently, Argentina is a cash city. You got to have cash. So it's a cash city. And don't think that's a lot of money. It's not. This is about $3. They're about to convert to the US dollar. But they're thinking my passport's fake. And I'm telling these guys, look, man, I'm American. I'm pulling the American card. You know how I do it. And after a while, they know, okay, how much money you got? I have to show my bank account. So I show my bank account. Oh, okay, you good. And they let me go. I said, if I'm not American, how am I making US dollar? If I'm not American, how am I making US dollar? It was disgusting. And I was stupid. This is off a 20-hour flight. I'm on the plane for 20 hours. Literally, on the plane for 20 hours. I'm too tired for this shit. The line was long in immigration as it is. And I'm too tired for this shit. Literally, sitting there tired, groggy, upset. And it's sad that, you're a foreigner, you're a tourist, want to view your city, and it's great. But would I recommend Argentina? No. Sorry, when you go through that type of bullshit, and there was barely any black people in the line in Argentina. It was me, Austin, and some other black guy that was with his girlfriend. I'm assuming it was his girlfriend. It was either with his girlfriend or his wife, whatever. And that was that. So, yeah, so I don't know. So I'm like, this nigga asked me all sorts of questions. I don't believe you're a U.S. citizen. I think you're lying. I'm like, bro. He's like, your story's not adding up. I told him I came from Poland. I went to Turkey, right? Istanbul, which I show proof. Then we stopped in Sao Paulo, right? And then I go from there to Argentina, right? Buenos Aires. So yeah, I'm just like, what?
And I'm sure that that's why they didn't believe him, Sheena, because a lot of Nigerians do have false passports or identification to try to avoid being considered Nigerian. And I'm sure that if they have an opportunity to get a hold of a passport of an American, such as Floyd, that's why I wish he would be a little bit more careful and cautious on how he reveals himself. He's already told his first and last name. He's told his situation growing up. He's marked himself. And I'm sure a lot of people are salivating that are illegal type of individuals, such as Nigerians that are fraudsters out here, are wanting to get their hands onto something like Floyd and his passport, because it would make their life a lot easier if they could steal his identification and pretend to be him. So you're right about Nigerians do sometimes, some of them do pretend to be us because they're involved in crime.
What the fuck, bro? Like, I really wanted to say something to the guy, but I was thinking about Austin and me traveling with him, and I'm thinking about this stuff. And I'm like, okay, bro, I'm gonna keep my cool, because Austin got cleared. I don't know how he got cleared. He got a lady on what he went through. But I got this old ass dude that's looking at me, mean mugging me. I already knew what time it was. But I'm being nice to the guy. I'm being respectful to the guy. And that's all I can do. So I would not recommend Argentina. If you're dark black, you're not. If you don't have a lady, and you don't get interviewed by a lady, you're going to the back. Unless you got some old ass dude that's upset, racist motherfucker, because that's the truth. I'm sorry. But the dude is like, you questioning my passport. Okay, I just want you to question my passport. But you run into your little computer and it's valid, and you talking about I fake my passport, bro? And the reason why I didn't say nothing to you is because I was thinking about my buddy. Because if it was by myself, I'd have been on your ass. So if you look African, which I do look African, I'm not African, I'm American. And it's because I've been in the sun. Like, if you're in Texas and you're in the sun, your skin gets darker from being in the sun. That's what happened to me, right? So it's not worth coming down here. I wouldn't even recommend it as a black man.
He is the typical lame kind of guy that's depicted as being lame in America, the type of guy that most American women don't want to fuck with because he's kind of corny. He's kind of lame. He sounds kind of off. Yes, he does sound a little feminine, and he's quirky like. So this is why he became a passport bro, because he was not getting a lot of opportunities to lay with women in America. So he's taken his black ass abroad in hopes to find other types of women that will want to lay up with him. And that's exactly what he's doing overseas. And they're pretty much giving Black American men a bad rap with this passport, bro. This message is getting around throughout the countries because they've been doing this for quite a while now. As long as I don't know passport bros past 2 years. I've only known passport bros for the last couple of years, but I'm sure they have been around longer than 2 years. But let's go.
Unfortunately, I got a lot of questions that nobody else got. I'm listening to everybody else's conversation, and this dude asking me a bunch of fucking questions, and then he's repeating the same questions like I don't know what he's doing. So they let me through, and guess what they did? They didn't even stamp my passport. They didn't even stamp it. And then Argentina, they don't stamp your passport, but they got me in the computer system. Okay? They got me in the computer system, great. But they didn't even stamp my passport. So they didn't have a system to verify your passport? They must have verified it because they let me go. But I don't know what the hell was going on with them. So, will I ever come back to Argentina? No. Argentina is one of the most, man, I didn't have a problem in Poland. I didn't have this problem in Romania. So I went to Argentina on the bottom of the barrel. And I mean the bottom tier. I didn't have a good time in Romania. I mean, it was cool. But I'm putting Argentina right below Romania. Because these guys were pure racist. And I'm sorry to say that. We got to see it for ourselves. So as far as Austin, I haven't heard back from him, and I don't know where he's at. I think I called him twice. He didn't respond. I hope he's okay. I will be staying in South America, of course. I won't be leaving. And I plan on meeting back up with him probably in Colombia, hopefully, if that's possible. But right now, I do not want to stay in this country with all the looks that I'm getting when I walk outside. I'm paranoid. I'm real paranoid. Like, I don't know if you know about me, but I'm that guy that's really, really paranoid. I am looking at everything. And when I see people mean mugging me, I literally walk up to this apartment building. I haven't left. I'm so scared to leave because they mean mug me, dude. I swear to you, I'm literally walking. You got women and the kids and family. They're going like this. They're pulling their kids aside. I'm literally walking down the street, and getting mean mugged. I don't know if it's because I'm super dark. This lighting makes me look a lot lighter, but in person, I'm a lot more darker. It's just the light in the camera. I'm really black, like really dark. So, unfortunately, yeah, they took my passport too. They took my passport. They didn't take my phone though. They took my passport from me, and they I'm not letting it get to my head, but that's a bad sign, bro. Like, that's not the only thing if it was just that, I wouldn't really care. It's not just that though. I literally walk outside, people are scared to be around me. It's weird. Like, I don't do something. Even look, I even speak English. Bro, I literally speak English. I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna do my glasses.
Like no other foreigner can speak English. He's a fool for that one. I speak English. And yeah, he's a little bit slow. He admits to being slow. He's been, in my mind, a little bit too transparent for what he does. I don't think that he should be sharing with the public that he has a disability, that he was a ward of the court. You can't say that you're out here on your own with no family and hardly no friends, and not expected to be targeted for people to try to get a hold of you and do something to you or steal from you or try to take your passport. And he's admitted to too much in such a small span of time that I was like, wow, dude, there's no way if I was traveling abroad, I would let people know that I was a ward of the court and I'm on my own. That, you know, I myself, y'all, I was a ward of the court, but I'm not traveling abroad. I'm not putting myself out there. He was in foster care. I was in foster care too. I was in a children's home as well. But I'm not traveling abroad and telling that story so people can target me. He did on his platform. And I was like, whoa, a lot of people now have salivating. They're salivating, thinking about what they can do if they ever get a hold of Floyd. And again, these women that are abroad, some of them are slipping stuff in your drinks. There's more and more deaths that's being found out abroad with or robberies that's happening with these women abroad. And I kind of feel for him. I feel like he will be one of those types that could be easily set up because he is too thirsty. He's too trusting. He has a lot of women that he has met up with so suddenly. I've seen at least 4 or 5 different women that he's already had on his platform. And I don't think that that's smart to do. I think that you should not let everybody know where you live. I think that eventually some of those women are going to try to line him up. And I wish that he would stop speaking as much as he does. But he loves talking, y'all, as you can tell.
I can show you guys. But I literally speak English, and that does nothing, bro. I swear to God. That does nothing. I'm literally pulling out the American card. I'm speaking English and nothing. They still mean money.
No, he's not Pan-African, but when these passports bros go to Africa and they realize how they can get some African pussy, suddenly they start talking Pan-African. So I will not be surprised once he takes his ass to Africa, which he hasn't made it there yet. He doesn't want to pay for the ticket to go there because it costs a lot of money to go there and back. he wants his audience to pay for him to go to Africa, which is retarded. He wants his audience to cough up $3,000, $3,000 to $5,000 so that he can go to Africa. And again, those African women will have him for lunch. But he don't know no better.
Bro, like they want to do something. Even the men are mean mugging me. The only time they don't do it is when I'm buying something. But even the men and the ladies behind the cash register, they're like mean mugging me, looking at me. I'm picking up food for myself to eat. Even when I order my food from what's that fucking app? It's called Pedro. There's a Pedro app you can order food. Niggas like shocked to see me. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's weird. So this country, I would not recommend it. I'm sorry. I had to tell it. I had to, bro. I couldn't. You're gonna come down here and be disappointed. You're American. And you're still gonna be disappointed. I even pulled out the American.
He's definitely not a Pan-African for saying that he's American, because Pan-Africans don't like saying that they are American, and they are trying to be intrusive onto our rights to claim ourselves as Americans. They don't have no issue with Africans becoming American. They don't have no issue with other foreigners becoming American. They just have an issue with Americans calling themselves, or Black Americans calling themselves Americans. But you can see he is proud to say, I am an American. And a lot of people find that cringeworthy. I don't think so, though. That's his saving grace. But people don't understand that. Let's go.
I said, look, I'm American. I speak English. I don't speak Spanish. And they still mean mug me, bro. Like, what the fuck are you doing down here? I haven't had this problem in Brazil. Never had this problem in Brazil. Never. Not one time. I've been in Brazil. When I speak English in Brazil, here, it's like they want to beat my ass. Like, what I do to you? And I'm trying to explain, calm down, I'll leave. Even when I code approach a woman, and I try to pull up the translator, and she inside, like she literally gets scared and walks inside. If they're doing that here, I'm good. I'm not gonna, no. Ain't no false accusations coming around here. So I'm literally pulling out my translator, right? Communicate with this lady. She's a good-looking lady. And she starts running inside the building. And at this point, I'm booking. I'm out. Like, I'm out. I swear to you not. I swear to you not. I literally booked off running. I literally ran because I didn't know what she was gonna do. When I see a woman run away, it ain't all this is a fucking weird nigga, that's why she ran. No. When I see a woman run away, even though I'm just pulling out my translator, I'm leaving. I'm booking off too. I'm running. Why are you running? You running in a foreign country? You're running away. I'm running. My instinct is to the fuck out of there. So the Tinder, I get matches on Tinder, but the thing is,
and that's another thing. I did a video talking about these apps and how people are lying in wait, predators, looking for unsuspecting people through romance scams. Kiki has talked about it too. Kiki loves Nigeria. All these different apps, a lot of deaths have resulted, or grapes have resulted behind these apps. But these men are so thirsty, they're willing to take the risk just to get a whiff of some new pussy. And it's kind of sad.
It goes nowhere. It literally goes nowhere. They're too hesitant to meet me. If they do want to meet me, it's behind the scenes. They want to get their back blown out. That's it. They don't want to do anything else. So honestly, with the information that I'm perceiving with my own eyes and what I'm experiencing, I booked my ticket out for tomorrow, bro. I'm leaving. I'm going back to Brazil. I'm going to Rio. Because there's no way in hell I'm going to sit here in a country that doesn't like black people. And I've tried to hit up Austin. I'm like, look, Austin, bro, I can't do it. No response. So He's doing his thing. Maybe he's having a good time. He has a date. Great for him. But I can't. I can't stay in the country when I feel like my life's in danger. When I start feeling like my life's in danger, someone's out to get me, I'm in overdrive. I haven't even left my apartment yet.
That's why I think he's bipolar, because he's exhibiting some type of characteristics that's reminiscent over someone that's manic. They are bipolar. They go up and they go down. He's on the up end of the bipolar right now, right here.
I'm gonna leave my apartment later today or tomorrow morning before I leave, and I'm gonna do a walkthrough. I'm gonna film this area, and I'm gonna show you what it at least looks like. I'm gonna at least give you that. But I'm not co-depressed no more, woman, bro. I can't take that risk. When a woman runs away from you, it's a bad sign. It's time to get the fuck up out of there. There's no way. I don't care why she's running, bro. If you gotta run away from me when I've done nothing to you, and all I've done was I pull up a translator to talk to you, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. Even when I go to the store, they looking at me like I'm about to steal something. Like you don't belong in this area, boy. That's what they look. I swear, bro. I'm not lying. I'm not making this up. I swear to you not. I swear. These people are fucking, and I'm sick and tired. People, oh, this could cut me. No, it's not. Stop lying. I wouldn't, as a white man, you're going to be fine. As a man of color, you're going to be fine coming to Argentina. As a dark black man, don't even come down here, bro. You can come at your own risk. Come at your own risk, bro. Do whatever you want to do. But I'm not going through this again.
Just imagine if he was refused being heard. What if they just was so bent hold believing that he was a Nigerian? What could have happened to Floyd in that case? I really, really want y'all to think about that. I wonder, are there other cases where they have just totally didn't believe the American and said, you're not an American and we're going to deport you to Africa? What if that has ever happened before? I'm pretty sure it could have happened. But in his case, luckily, the guy finally believed him. But at first, he was really not trying to believe him. He's animated. Again, I think he's bipolar. He has some disabilities. He should not be traveling like he does. But again, he's willing to take the risk just for being close next to PUCCI.
The next day, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm leaving, and I'm going straight to Brazil, where I have women literally waiting on me to see me. There's just no way. There's just no way I'm going to sit in a country like Argentina and be like, oh, I'm having a good time when I'm being mean, mother, for no reason. If you got to know me, I'm a good guy. But you would know that I'm a good guy. You would know I'm not from, even immigration, that's how, look, I'm from America. How the fuck am I supposed to know you only carry cash? Well, you can't use a debit card here. Well, clearly I can because I've been using them here lately. You have no cash on you? He said, you have no cash on you? I use a debit card. So I ain't mad. Do the thing. But I'm leaving. I'm going to Brazil. And that's that. And I don't care. But I actually made, and I've actually made a plan on what I want to do. So I want to leave the United States fully. And I know what country I want to move to. And it's not Brazil. It's the Philippines. As I stated before, if I want to have a family, if I want to settle down and live an affordable lifestyle, the Philippines is probably my best bet. Now, you might say, well, there's other countries and all that, but I'm going to be real with you. Till this day, the same women that I met almost a year ago, in the Philippines, they still want me to come back. Literally. And I ain't been in the Philippines almost a year. Now, the fact of the matter is,
but if they would deport him, though, Sheena, they would keep his passport. They would take it, confiscate it. They wouldn't let them keep it. They would just deport his ass to Africa. That's what I think that they do. If they believe that it's a fraud, they're not going to let you keep the passport and that fake ID that they think is fake. They would just deport you. And if you don't have access to family or people with money right away to help him out, he would be in a slew of trouble. That's what I don't think passport bros are thinking about. What could happen if you got caught up in jail overseas? If you got accused of rape overseas? If you got accused of being an African overseas and they don't believe you? These things, I don't think that the passport bros really fully weigh in their mind what could be if they get caught up. Let's go.
I want to settle. I want to have a family. You know, I want to have kids. I want to do all of that. The culture's great. The food is great, but forget all that. Let's worry about a family. Let's worry about building something for the future generations, and that's what's really important. I read, you know, people are like, well, you just go for the culture and food and sightseeing. You can go for that, but I'm going for the opportunity to get married and have a family. I don't care about anything else. Your culture's great, but I care about building a family. So, and it's cool. I do the culture. I do the culture and all that. I do the waterfalls and all that and stuff. But we all know what we're here for, bro. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm a grown ass man. Y'all grown, I'm assuming. We all know why we watch the channel. It's about the women. I don't want to hear anything else. It's about the women, and that's what's important. And if they ain't feeling you here, you gotta go. Do not waste your money. Do not waste your money. Do not waste your money. Do not waste your money coming to a country where the women don't want you, bro. You might come for the culture, but as men, we want a family. And single men like myself, we want to build a family, we want to have kids, we want to get married. That's what we want. The culture? The culture. I mean, no. The culture is great. But what we really want is a family. Now, I know I'm sorry if the stream's lag. My data is off. Buenos Aires for Austin might be great for him. My experience is not. It's not.
I didn't even see what he just said. Let me go back because I missed something. He be having like little episodes, I think. Let me see.
That's what we want. The culture? The culture. I mean, no. The culture is great. But what we really want is a family. Now, I know I'm sorry if the stream's lag. My data is off. Buenos Aires for Austin might be great for him. My experience is not. It's not. My experience has been nothing but bad. The only good experience, I think back. Even when I withdraw money from the ATM, I have to pay it. I can only withdraw $10,000, and that's like less than that's $20. So I'm paying more for their currency than what the actual exchange rate is. The ATM charges me additional fees and all that. The women, they don't like me. And then, like I said, I went on a date. They flake. Literally, I've been here for 2 days. I've had people tell me, I'll come see you tomorrow. I'm not like that. And they even admitted in the messages, they admitted that this country's like that. They even admitted, and guess what? They're saying, I'm not like that. I said, let's meet up tomorrow for a date. Today was supposed to be the day we're supposed to meet up. No response. Hey, how you doing? No response. No response. No response.
I think he is not that intelligent to stay gone for a long period of time, in my opinion. Now, let me play another video just so that this is more interesting. Let me show you what Haitians go through at the border crisis when it comes to the Haitian Dominican Republic. Luckily, he speaks very good English, and that maybe he would not be mistaken for Haitian. But if they They could, I don't know, because a lot of them go to the public or the DR, the Dominican Republic, and they call themselves being passport bros there. And so, again, the Haitians have a rough time trying to make a living, trying to get around. It's really sad how they're treated at that border, but let's look at their plight.
The Dominican army tends to come in the night, Tatiana tells me, looking for Haitian migrants like herself.
They knock, and if you don't open, they break down the door. And if they see things like their cell phone, they just take it.
She's 7 months pregnant, but most nights she leaves her rented room and hides in this field, fearing she'll be deported back to Haiti. Once, they almost caught her.
They came, and I ran, and I fell over. Now I have to sleep in the open. I can't sleep inside.
Multiple Haitian migrants in the Dominican Republic told us the same thing, that security forces come for them in the night to take them away. Mass deportations were happening anyway, but the last week has brought more tension. The Dominican Republic has closed the border with Haiti over a water dispute. Elimenia has been here for 24 years. She has papers, unlike Tatiana, but she says even that doesn't protect you.
They don't ask you for your documents anymore. If you don't have the documents, they take you away. If you have the documents, they take you away anyway.
Many Haitians are now leaving voluntarily, packing everything they can and heading back to their country, one controlled by gangs and in which more than half the population is in danger of starvation. Even with the border closed, Dominican forces allowed that one-way traffic. This is what we've been seeing in the days since we've been here. Haitians streaming across the border from the Dominican Republic, going back home. And we've been told that this number of people leaving en masse is highly unusual here. As is the security forces approach, says Father Osvaldo Concepcion, who heads a human rights organization at the border.
It's the first time that the Haitian army's been breaking into people's houses and that there are mass deportations. It's an explicitly racial, anti-Haitian discourse from the Dominican president, and he doesn't recognize the work of Haitians in the Dominican.
Now, who does not have to go through these mass deportations? Black Americans. But we're fighting so hard to get these so-called citizenships and passports throughout Africa. Eventually, I really feel like the likes of Biden is going to make sure we pay for that. And so that's why I warn y'all against getting the citizenships, because Biden is not playing with us. They have different laws that they make up behind the scenes that you may not be aware of. And you might do something that's going to be detrimental to you as far as being considered still an American, because you could be, again, like I've been saying, unbeknownst to you, renouncing your citizenship with the types of laws and stuff that they have come up that you're not aware of. So I implore those that are trying to get these citizenships to call the actual embassies, the actual people that would know for certain what you can and cannot do as a Black American, because people are having us do whatever they desire. Follow the leader, follow us like ducks. And I really feel in my heart of hearts that that is going to bite a lot of us in the ass, because that's the way they designed it. They don't want us to be sitting pretty. They don't want us to be safe and secure. They want us in the same predicament as other folks are suffering throughout the world. The jealousy, the envy is really real. And for those that are in leadership, that are migrants themselves or immigrants themselves, they don't look at us fondly with us not having the same problems that they have come from. That's just the truth. From my observation, from my research, for how this so-called disdain that many people have against us for no apparent reason, it's because we don't have their problems. And I really hope that we would take to heart or Americanness because people are trying to unglue us from the notion of us being American. Even today on Khazarian Empire, he's having a show talking about Black American versus African, and this discussion about are we African comes up. People are gun-ho, especially Nigerians, trying to make us Africanized. We keep telling them we are mixed up with other things other than African. We're us. We're American. And yet they still, oh, you're 70% or more African by the kit. You're African. It's like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They want us to have the same problem that they have. And people still believe that they want to unify. And it's really a strange thing. Look at this.
We asked the Dominican Army and Immigration Ministry for comment. Neither would speak to us. But President Luis Abinader has made no secret of his hardline approach since he was elected.
The Dominican Republic won't just continue the deportations, it's going to increase them.
Dominicans support that. Some feel migration leads to crime, others that it's simply out of control. Meanwhile, Tatiana is packing. She says that she can't spend too many more nights in hiding. She's ready to go home. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Partido, the Dominican Republic.
Again, we don't know what that feels like, and I don't want to start feeling like that. It's unfortunate that they go through that, but that's not something that I want to sign up for. And I don't want to do anything to get in the way of jeopardizing my Americanness because I am proud of my identity. And people really have an issue with us being prideful about being Americans. And y'all need to know that they would like to uproot us from that status. That's what they are attempting to do. That's why they say we are immigrants too, because they do not like the fact that we are considered American, even if we're being treated some kind of way in America, even if we are not treated fairly a lot. That still doesn't change. We have never had deportation issues. We have never been barred from traveling abroad or wherever that passport has always suited us. But I'm wondering, will there be a time that people cancel their passport by getting all these citizenship? That's why I bring it up. And I really hope that you guys would research and let me know what you find. I might even calling the embassy to get more direct information if I have time. I might do that myself to tell you the full scope, because it is just unboggling to me that people put too much emphasis and confidence in a man called Dynasty Mir who does not have no care or concern for you whatsoever. And, for y'all wanting to still believe like these mammies, there was a mammy that came on my other channel that wrote a novel almost, talking about she don't appreciate this and she don't appreciate that. I didn't even read that bullshit. I just told her to get off my damn channel, and I called her a mammy and basically beat it. But, I ain't got time for people that are trying to mammy it up, wanting to give Dynasty Mir the benefit of the doubt. They're not looking at what I'm showing. They want to just hold to because they like him. And again, I don't give a damn about being liked. If I cared about that, I wouldn't be doing a channel. I'm doing this to help those to be informed, because we do not have true leadership. We do not have true alpha men that's going to stand in the gap and do the legwork needed to research and figure out things like me and Kiki would do. And it's just the truth. So let me show y'all. I did catch when Floyd, foreign only, had disclosed his status as a ward of the court. And I thought that this was so dangerous of him doing. I think he's taken down the video, but I caught this version of it. So let's listen to this. Hold on.
Like, growing up, who were your male role models? I grew up in a state. My male role models. I don't know. That's a good question. But yeah, I was in a state. You say you grew up in a state or in the States? In the state. You know how you grew up in like foster care? Grew up in like. Yeah, I kind of grew up most of my life in an institution. So it's like the stuff that I was
freestyling life, so you didn't have any mentors or any uncles to say.
He should never have revealed that, though. Why did that cut off like that? Hold on. That was weird.
Trustworthy man. It's just that when I see you interact with other people, I'm like, he's really either you poured on too thick or you misread a signal, and then it's kind of like, I'm like, growing up, who were your male role models?
I grew up in a state. My male role models. I don't know. That's a good question. But yeah, I grew up in a state.
You say you grew up in a state or in the states?
In the state. You know how you grew up in like foster care? We grew up in like.
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of grew up most of my life in an institution, so it's like the stuff that I was supposed to be taught, I ain't getting taught by a teacher myself.
So yeah, you're freestyling life. So you didn't have any mentors or any uncles to say, "Hey, man, let's put your shirt on the ironing board," things like that. Okay, see, again, this is information that will help people out on how to digest your content and be like, okay, well, he's learning on the job, So, that changes my total perspective on it, because now I can see it's like,
I don't think he should have ever divulged that information. I think it's too dangerous for him to say that I don't have family, because people pretty much know if something happens to you, you're not going to be missed. Yes, by the audience, his subscribers, but ultimately, if he's a true ward of the court and not in restrained or estranged from his family like I have been, you're not in contact with your parents like that. And he admits that he doesn't affiliate with his parents on any kind of level. And I was just like, when he said it, I was like, oh my God, that is like the worst thing that you can admit as a passport bro, because everybody's eyes and ears perked up when he said that. They were like, oh, really? You were awarded a court? Nobody knows you? I mean, nobody cares about you like that? So we can pretty much do as we want with you? And I really wish that he would never have did that. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat room. I'm sorry it took me a while to get back to y'all, but I wanted to play that little snippet of when he admitted he was awarded a court. I commend him for surviving the awarded court, because it's not an easy feat to do. You are going to live with that stain and that loss of being raised by a family and having a connection with family. And you have to forge ahead despite it all to try to find happiness. And that's what he's calling himself doing. But he's indulging with, this notion of getting sex abroad, though. And I really fear for him, because there are a lot of women that are really cold and they won't mind taking you out or robbing you or doing whatever they got to do because you got money and they ain't got the money. So I think that he is in trouble. I hope that he would. I mean, when he gave his last name too, that just killed it. He gave his first and last name when he went to a museum. He yelled out his name. He says, "I'm such and such." I was like, oh my God. So they know his name now. They know his status as not having a lot of family. And they know that he's been considered African before. I know that people are looking at him and they're wondering how they're going to be able to get him hooked up. How can they take advantage of him? That's what he displayed in front of their faces. You said, Sheena says, we are who we are. They need to get over it. I have never in my life identified as African. I am Black American. Me too. It's just unfortunate that people are trying to force us into a category that we have never been in. Because, again, they want us to deal with the types of things in which others are dealing with. And I want y'all to remember all these different migrants that are coming over here. It's not just the Venezuelans. It's also Africans. It's also Chinese. And we really have to protect our identities and our passports and all these types of things, because people would love to get a hold of our shit. They just would. You said, Sheena says he would have got deported to Africa. At least it would get there for free. Yeah, without the passport and without his identity. So he would have been screwed. He would have been screwed. It would have been a tell to really tell. Hey, what's up, Tyron? You said, how you doing, beautiful? Welcome to For Black Righteous channel. What's up? Safe Brother says, hey, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. What's up, Safe Brother? Thank you for coming through. If you guys have not yet, please do me a favor by liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and sharing the video. That would be great. That would be greatly appreciated, because a lot of people want us to live very reckless. Like I said, they have no intention for us to wise up and to hunker down and to just take it easy and be cautious. They want us to keep our neck on the line, to keep running around with our head cut off, and to do whatever they desire for us to do so that we are more and more in trouble. Tyron says, why don't they just admit they want pale cheeks? What's the point in hiding your sexual preference intentions? Okay. Sheena says, he needs to come back home. I think he does. And he had a little episode earlier today where he said that he might be wanting to come back to America because he doesn't like the fact that people are not paying towards his Africa trip fast enough. So he had kind of a meltdown today, and he didn't keep the video up. But he does that. He has meltdowns. That's why I think he's bipolar. I think that he gets paid for being bipolar or something like that. Tyron says, them Pan-African Nigerian Africans admitted to me their intentions of fighting white supremacy or Arabs. Their plan is to mixing with these foreign pale broads, of course. If you can't beat them, join them. You said, yeah, I'm never going to DR. I would never go somewhere where I might be mistaken for somebody else. Hell no, I would not take that chance. Tyron says, the type of woman these conscious Pan-African males, he's not a Pan-African, he's a passport bro, dudes want to these IG models to submit to them and be a traditional woman, but you can't turn a sock into a housewife. They're not going to be able to, control those women as well, because they have power in the fact that you're in their land. So you're at the mercy of those women. And if those women are full of lies and trickeries, then you're in trouble. I'm pretty sure there's been a whole lot of men that's been accused of rape. All kinds of stuff could happen behind someone's words. We hear that in America. Tyron says exactly, but they keep shitting on America without leaving America. They keep shitting on America. They keep shitting on Black Americans, but they will not seem to go for good. They only go and stay for 10 days at a time, and they bring their Black tired asses back to America to talk more shit to us about what the fuck we not doing. And I'm sick of them. Sheena says, I wish they could keep our names out their mouths. It would be lovely if they did. You said they want the IG models to become housewives, Kiki says. Do they know how to cook? I don't think a lot of them do. From what I've been seeing on his show, of what he showcased this woman supposedly making breakfast one time, and it looked as sickening. I was like, ugh. Tyron says, I went on NYTN channel. I'm not sure who that is. And I saw an African trying to tell these people to usurp our identity and say, why don't Black Americans call themselves Bantu African and said African American has prestige? Again, they have been working on usurping our identity. They want to minimize our Americanness and try to Africanize us. It's for an agenda, like I said. And yes, Dynas is all about making money. He does not care who he harms. He has on his show NFTs as well. NFTs are worthless, and he still has advertisements for NFTs. So in addition to Fitzgerald scam with the character bars, Lou Major scamming out $2 million, now the NFTs advertise on his platform, and it's worthless, y'all. Absolutely worthless. Tyron said, but he doesn't mind having worthless stuff on his channel because he still gets paid. That's all he gives a damn about. Moving right along, Tyron says this guy by the name of Yoon Buddy One, possibility of Kenyan origin cause he typed up Swahili words, said to NYTN, first Black Americans of the U.S. should drop Black American and pick up a Bantu African name. That's what they keep on trying to instruct us to do. But again, the reason for them and wanting us to do that is because they want us to join the festivities of what they go through. They think they slick. Hold on.
When you start a new match in Supremacy 1914,
oh my God, come on.
Against you. So be careful when choosing your country. Choosing Chile as a starting point is especially.
Oh, hold on.
Chile is a very long country.
Why won't this shut up? Hold on, let me give y'all an example. Now, there is a nonstop flow right now in America of adult male migrants overwhelming the border. We have got to protect our identities, not make our identities harder to determine who is who. And when you get all these other identities and all these other passports or citizenships, again, you are embarking on this notion of trying to make yourself more migrant-like. And I don't think that's smart to do. In my opinion, I don't think it's smart.
Border Patrol agents are overwhelmed with the massive influx of illegal immigrants. The number are like anything we've ever seen. Border Patrol saying they have encountered 12,000 illegal immigrants on the southern border. That's on Tuesday alone. That's the highest daily total ever. Senator Lindsey Graham with this message for President Biden.
If you're awake, you better come up with a solution to a broken border before a bunch of people get killed. This is a national security disaster in the making.
Bill Malhusian is at the border in Lukeville, Arizona. He is near a huge group of illegal immigrants now waiting to be processed. This matter just getting worse by the day, Bill.
It is, Julie, and CBP sources tell me in the last 24 hours alone, there have been just short of 10,000 migrant encounters here at our southern border. More than 3,000 of those happening right here in this Tucson, Arizona sector. We'll show you the situation here in Lukeville, Arizona. Middle of nowhere, southern Arizona desert, 2 hours.
Again, all those Africans, right? They just got over here, and a whole lot of them would be desperate enough if they could get an opportunity to get a hold of an American person's identity or passport and try to pretend to be them with all the problems that they have. Now they made it to America, and, I don't know if they will pan out because of how many they are here. All these men that are here, I mean, where are they going to house these men at? Where can they be housed at? Who is going to keep feeding these men like this? But again, this is the plight of migrants. This is the plight of illegal aliens or illegal migrants, whatever you want to call them. They go through these type of scenarios and we do not see these troubles, but I'm assuring y'all eventually, if we keep doing and following behind these people that are telling us what to do and you blindly follow them, eventually you're going to find yourself in a predicament that you did not have to be in. You have the American passport. Most places you can go anyways. I don't see the necessity to have to get a citizenship or a passport from anywhere. I don't get it. But they're trying to push this onto us like that's what we need to do. And people are following in line like ducks and listening to Dynasty Mirror and others to do just that. And I think that eventually is going to bite Americans in the ass, and they're going to find themselves in the same predicament as these people here.
Closest major city, where people continue to cross here illegally from all over the world. You can see the demographics here. All these guys, adult men, a lot from African countries. We've talked to guys who came in from Mauritania, Morocco, Liberia, India, Syria, all over the place. Many of them telling us they first flew into South America, then traveled through a big handful of countries to get into Mexico, then went right through Mexico to the border here with the U.S., where they've crossed illegally, and they are expecting to be released into the United States and all have cities where they would like to go. We'll show you what it looked like earlier this morning. Take a look at this. Before the sun came up, we were shooting this video. It gets cold out here, so these migrants start campfires all over the place in an effort to stay warm. They'll go into the desert and pull brush out, light it up. They'll find trash. Basically anything they can find to stay warm out here, because it does get pretty chilly. And some of these guys have been camping out here for several days waiting for Border Patrol to process them. We talk about the nonstop flow here. Take a look at this video we shot late yesterday afternoon. There was another breach in the border wall, and you'll see masses of hundreds of people.
I mean, the way that they're looking is like cattle. the way that they usher them in and have them looking like they are like cattle or something. They're not, you know, from the countries. They look like they are trying to find something. I don't know. They just look out of place. The picture looks very surreal to me. And again, this is the plight of migrants that they have to endure. Why do we want to subject ourselves to the same thing? Why? That's the only thing that's keeping us from having those types of problems is our Americanness. But people are so gun-ho with trying to get us caught up. What's up, Success Express? You said I'm from Arizona. Oh, so you get to see this, huh?
Crossing illegally and then walking down the dirt path on this border wall right to where I'm standing giving you this live shot. Border Patrol is overwhelmed. They're trying to process people out of here as fast as they can, but it's hard because there is a never-ending supply of people coming through the border wall and crossing here illegally. We've had a chance to talk to a lot of the guys out here. Almost all of them have said they are not seeking asylum. They're here for opportunity, for work in the United States, where they want to link up with their family, and they all have cities they're planning to go to here. Take a listen. Where in the United States do you want to go?
Detroit.
California.
New York City.
Nueva York.
New York City. I have family members there.
A Miami. ¿Y a dónde vas en los Estados Unidos? ¿Qué ciudad?
Omaha.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Miami.
Omaha.
Oklahoma?
Igual. Sur Carolina.
Español? Okay. And back out here live, you can see some of these guys down here. ¿De dónde son?
Again, a lot of the jealousy that we get is because we have never faced these types of problems. These Pan-Africans are trying to work ever so hard to try to make us believe we're Africans so that we can join in the festivities of what these other migrants or immigrants go through. And I say, hell no. We ain't never been through that. Why start? Be smart. Be smart. Don't listen to Pan-Africans. Don't let them lead you to a burning house. Just because there's smiles now, you can be crying later. Just because you're eating fufu now, don't mean that you won't be turned into a fool later. And if something happens or a law is changed behind you taking those citizenships, and then you're just so happen deported to the new place that you got your new citizenship, wouldn't you feel stupid? Wouldn't you feel stupid? But again, people just telling you to follow them like they're the leader, and they're really ducks. They're really crash dummies that you're following. Dynas Demir is a crash dummy. He has gotten 2 citizenships. I don't even know if that's legal to do. A Nigerian citizenship and a Sierra Leonean citizenship and an American citizenship. How many citizenships can you fucking get? But again, he thinks he can make the rules. He has gotten his head about this notion that I'm a prince. He has filled his head up with these fantasies that's not realistic. And again, he could be leading many people into a burning house. Now look at this video of Libya just recently sent over 200 or about 250 migrants back to where they came from. We have never, ever been grouped up and deported anywhere because we primarily have been, stagnantly in America. Many of us don't even have passports. I think there's only 30% of us that even has a passport that's a Black American. 70% of us do not. And that's what they're trying to change. That's why they keep on saying, you got to get a passport. You got to travel to Africa. You got to do this. You got to do that. Because they want to get us into the same situation as many other Blacks are going through. I don't really consider them Black, but, the other folks that may be deemed Black because they have other identities. That's why I don't like calling them Black. Take a listen to this.
Libyan authorities have deported 248 undocumented migrants to their home countries, Niger and Chad, in a joint effort by rival administrations in the war-torn country. The North African country has now become a hub for tens of thousands of migrants seeking to reach Europe by sea every year. We've all paid the price because of these groups who try to trade not only with the people of Niger and Chad, but also with the people of African and Asian countries further away from them in order to trade with them and smuggle them to Europe. An official with Tripoli's government agency against clandestine migration said 120 Nigerians had left Libya for Niamey in coordination with UN's International Organization for Migration. Thousands of migrants seeking to reach Europe by sea every year often fall into the hands of trafficking gangs that extort them for money.
Not only that, but a lot of them, end up in human trafficking or modern day slavery, that is. How many of those migrants have found themselves in unsavory positions, forced labor, modern day slavery, passport taken? A lot. 50 million people are involved right now as I speak to you in modern day slavery. Let me find a clip of that. So it is not a fun position to be in with migrants, scrambling about. There's nothing about that is something appealing to me. But people keep telling us to call ourselves immigrants. Take away that Americanness. Call yourself an immigrant. Call yourself African. Call yourself Bantu. Call yourself anything but American. We want to get you away from that. And that's why we are the agenda, y'all. They don't have no love for us because if anything, they would say, well, at least they have that going for themselves because they don't have a place that they know of anywhere in Africa. So they have that, that guarantee that they'll never be messed with. But they're trying behind the scenes to mess with us. They talk as if they want you to know they want to mess with you because they want to re-Africanize you against your will. And I'm not going for it. Not going for it at all.
It's called modern slavery, though there's nothing really modern about it.
Modern slavery is about illegal controls. The chains that hold people today in slavery are no longer physical, but rather they have become psychological.
Now, the latest Walk-Free Global Slavery Index has found 50 million people, including 12 million children, are living in modern slavery, mostly in forced labour or forced marriages. And things are getting worse, with countries like Russia, Saudi Arabia and North Korea forcing another 10 million people into slavery since 2018.
Women are disproportionately affected by modern slavery, particularly sort of in the sex trafficking dimension.
So think about passport bros going overseas, linking up with some of these men that they think are friendly at a bar, at a club, and they're human smugglers or they're human traffickers or they're a part of modern day slavery. I am pretty sure that those cases have already happened, but we just don't have the story yet. I'm praying one day that a story would leak to really rattle passport bros because all they have to do is slip something in your drink. You wake up and you're chained up or whatever, and then your whole life is changed for good. They can move you at night or move you whenever, knock you out or whatever, move you during the day if they needed to. And your ass is grass. But again, we have the luxury right now to travel abroad for fun. But what if it changes and it's not so fun no more? That's why a lot of disdain is towards Black Americans, because we don't have to travel to try to get out of Dodge from a really crazy situation. Although America is not the greatest, it is a lot better than other places that people are fleeing from. And they're trying to restructure a narrative to say that we're not safe in America and we got to go, while everybody's coming over to replace us. And this is the agenda that I see. And now you guys are seeing. I've been talking about being replaced. I've been talking about being squeezed out. I've been talking about Biden is not our friend. He really, truly dislikes Black Americans. He really, truly is a racist at heart. All his legislation is showcasing that fact. he would be the person I would be fearful of getting another citizenship or another I just would be fearful, because he could make up one brilliant morning a whole nother law to rattle the whole situation that we have always known ourselves to be in and forever changed. And I want y'all to think about not trusting Biden, for God's sake. You cannot trust that man.
Other issues that affect the prevalence of modern slavery relate to, for example, economic precarity, people's vulnerability due to lack of income.
Consumer culture driving the market for human misery, with Americans, the English, Germans and Australians spending big on electronics, clothing and textiles, all through a supply chain propped up by forced labour.
People working in factories in Malaysia, for example, they've described working for 12 to 14-hour days in hot, grueling conditions, 6 to 7 days a week for less than $2 an hour.
Australia's biggest trading partner, China, also a major culprit.
Fast fashion has been notorious for slavery-like conditions for workers. There's credible evidence of horrific exploitation and forced labour against weaker people.
But we don't talk about these types of things, y'all. We talk about unity, fake pan-Africanism, traveling all over the place. Go to Africa, take a risk, invest, spend your money, throw your money here, throw your money there, throw your money here. Black American, African, so-called American. Keep on keeping up with the Joneses and keep trying to pretend like you're somebody. Keep on keeping up with trying to listen to other foreigners who do not have your best interests at heart. And even the so-called Black Americans who are making money off of you being silly and being a crash dummy. They making money off of you making rash decisions based on what they told you should be able to do, but they are not making laws. They can't prevent laws from being made. Dynasty Mir can't do shit if a law came up tomorrow morning. And all he would say is you should have did your due diligence. All they would say is you should have done your due diligence. And I've done the due diligence. And that's why I'm saying don't trust these people telling you to run and get drive-by citizenships. It is just not smart in the climate that we are in. People are really wanting us to put ourselves in a very dangerous position. You could tell by what their requests of us to do. They're not saying save your money, think about your future, wait and watch. See what's going to happen next. Too many changes are happening in front of your face in America. It's not wise to splurge. They're not going to say that to you. They don't care about you. They want to make money off of you. That's what you are. You are to be made the commodity. You are the monies. You're the money bag. You're the ATM. And they want to keep you in that mindset. And I'm trying to break that mindset because it's not smart to do.
So that $4 shirt from a chain store, well, someone's paying a high price and it's not you. And it's not just cheap clothes.
Some of the items that you might not immediately connect with modern slavery, for example, are solar panels and also garlic.
When has Dynasty Mir had a show about slave trade, modern day slavery? When has he talked about forced labor? All they want to talk about, China's one, they are a big economy and this and that and the other. We need to mimic them. That's what Africans say all the damn time, but they don't talk about there's forced labor. They don't talk about modern day slavery that helped their economy boom. That's why it's booming. But we're supposed to admire China. We're supposed to want to mimic China. Africans love the idea of mimicking China, and they want us to be those people, to be the slave people of old, to make up the economy for them instead of America. That's all it is. They just want us to do the same thing we did here for them. That's it. There's nothing special about what they want us to do other than be what you've been for America, but now be it for Africa. That's it. And at the same time, they're keep making us more vulnerable and vulnerable with these movements, these trends that are not safe to do. especially with a kooky bar such as Biden. There is nothing about him that y'all should be trusting, not one iota, not 1 milliminute in Biden. You should not have no faith at all. You should expect the worst with him. That's what you should be doing.
Other items such as tomatoes. While Australia is cited as one of the top 3 countries fighting modern slavery, our system is still far from perfect.
The Australian Modern Slavery Act asks companies to address the risks in operations and supply chains and basically report on those actions and the progress that they've made. What we need is for the government to step in, for example, by introducing financial penalties for non-compliance.
Experts urging Australia to go further.
It's really on companies to prevent these abuses from occurring and lifting conditions for supply chain workers so that we're not profiting from the exploitation of workers.
Grace Forrest is a director of Walk Free that produced this report, and she joins us now. Grace, there are 40,000 modern slaves living in this country. So what does the life of an Australian slave look like?
Look, people living in modern slavery in Australia and throughout the world are experiencing the systemic removal of their own freedom. This includes things such as forced labour, forced marriage, debt bondage, domestic servitude, and state-imposed forced labour. Now, we're not seeing state-imposed forced labour in Australia, but we are seeing all the other forms occurring on our shores. And I think I'd also like to point to the fact that Australia also has over a $17 billion import risk of goods at high risk of being made using forced labour.
Grace, can I just get you to unpack some of the forms, I guess, that this form of modern slavery takes? So when you talk about things like, I think it was a debt bondage you used, for example, I don't think people at home hear that and go, oh, I know people in that sort of situation. Like, what does that actually mean? Like, how does someone end up in that situation in a way that we would recognise as actually real?
Pay attention to this, y'all.
Yeah, it's a really great question. Tied visa systems throughout the world create an environment where a migrant worker usually is tied to their employer, and too often those workers have to pay to gain a job in a certain country. This puts them in a situation of debt from the day they start their work, and often we see this being heavily exploitative, with people working sometimes for months without receiving any pay, being unable to leave that situation. And obviously the longer it goes on, the harder it is for someone to leave that situation because of the pay that has built up. This report found that migrant workers are 3 times more likely to experience forced labour than non-migrant workers, and debt bondage is one of the means and way people are held captive.
It's really overwhelming to think that we might be complicit in modern slavery, and as consumers it feels like we're a bit powerless. But are there practical things that we can do to be making more ethical choices?
Look, there definitely are. I think first and foremost, this index has shown us that there are 50 million people living in modern slavery throughout the globe, and this is happening in every country in the world. As consumers, we are connected to products that are being made using forced labour every single day, from our clothing, as I mentioned, to coffee, to sugar. I think that we want consumers to understand that this is a government and business responsibility. We're not trying to put more pressure on consumers in a cost of living crisis, but there are practical things that each of us can do. Asking questions about the origins of where our clothes come from is an essential part of this, because without transparency, we cannot see or protect vulnerable people. And if a business can't show you that they're doing the right thing, we'd strongly encourage you to realise that they're doing the wrong thing.
All right, Grace, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Like I said, they will never have a topic that is going to wise you up. They always want to keep us as the loose, lost sheep that is willing to be preyed upon because it doesn't have a leader. We're being told to be passport bros. We're being told to travel everywhere to Africa, to take chances, to invest, to move, to try to get land, try to do all these things. There are other people that have ulterior motives, though, that is linked to these schemes about land. And they have other ideas other than that. They have other ideas other than what they claim that they have ideas for. In fact, Tinder, which is one of the apps that Floyd had mentioned, you guys have to be mindful that these apps are very dangerous because a lot of people are finding themselves in very messed up predicaments, including death, including rape, and including being kidnapped, and all kinds of things. But these are the apps that passport bros use. Just because we don't know who has been caught up in modern day slavery does not mean it's not happening right now. We definitely don't have no protection. We definitely got nobody warning us about nothing. I'm the only one trying, and Kiki Loves Nigeria does. It's very rare that people take the time and say, Black American, look at this. Look at this, y'all. Look at this, y'all. No, they say, go out there and run to the burning fire. Jump into the lake. That's all we get, y'all.
She co-wrote that bill in Utah, also has done extensive research.
Hold on.
Joining us now is Associate Dean at Brigham Young University's College of Nursing, Julie Valentine. She co-wrote that bill in Utah, also has done extensive research on sexual assault. Julie, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Why the sudden increase in sexual assault cases in Utah?
Well, we don't completely know, and we have to understand that when we see an increase, we have to consider, are we seeing more sexual assault cases, or are more victims reporting? The hope is that more victims are feeling comfortable coming forward and reporting. But we wanted to specifically look at dating app facilitated sexual assaults. We wanted to look at, are these rapes when someone meets on a dating app, the first time they get together, they're raped, are they different than other acquaintance sexual assaults, frequently termed date rapes? And our findings were incredibly disturbing. We found that a third of the victims were strangled with the rape, that there were more penetrative assaultive acts, that victims had more anogenital and non-anogenital injuries. And we also found that the victims of these dating app facilitated sexual assaults were more vulnerable. About 60% had self-disclosed mental illness. So all of these concerning findings led us to say, let's look at our legislation.
That's absolutely so disturbing what you're describing. And we know you co-wrote this bill attempting to incorporate additional safety measures into dating apps. What exactly needs to happen to protect potential victims?
Well, I think the first thing is dating apps need to clearly state information about sexual assault. Currently, most dating apps don't. They avoid that topic. They talk about physical assault or if they felt uncomfortable. So this bill would require dating apps to clearly address sexual assault. It would require dating apps to clearly state if they did background checks and if they do.
Again, that should be the least of your worry, because you could be murdered. You could be kidnapped and sold. You could be pimped. So many other things can happen behind these apps that people are trying to tell us to go on and do, the worldly thing. Just be worldly. Be global. Be a global citizen, Black American. Don't worry about nothing. It's your world to conquer. Go out there. They know the woes and the dangers that exist for the migrants, but they don't care to warn us because they feel like we don't have those issues, so therefore we don't need no warning. Now, I want y'all to look at another case of millions of people are trapped in modern day slavery in Pakistan. This is what happens to them when they are entrapped with debt.
The Meghwars are among the millions of people in Pakistan who spend their lives making bricks to pay off debts to wealthy landowners. The family borrowed money from the owner of the brick kiln more than 2 decades ago to pay a hospital bill. Lawyers say these bricks are part of the system of modern-day slavery. Families take home so little, they often have to keep borrowing more just to get by. They spend long days breathing in dust under the scorching desert sun and firing bricks in massive underground kilns. And they don't know if they'll ever get out of here. The owner of the kiln tells them he's keeping half of the money they earn to make payments on their loan, and there's no record of how much is left to pay. The Meghwars are among the...
Again, you're never going to hear from Pan-Africans about any of those warnings. They're never going to say, worry about this, consider that. They're going to just keep on telling you that you need to go and attempt to do these things. You need to pretend to be Superman and Superwoman. You need to just put everything, your neck on the line and do everything. That's why I have no respect for Pan-Africans, because they really, truly want to leave us open, wide open to be preyed upon. And this is why, you know, they don't have a heart for Black Americans, because all they keep telling us is that we must do this and we got to do that. And people are expecting this of you and all this stuff. And they don't give a flying fuck about us at all. So I want to get back to Floyd. I think I lost his video. What happened to the video? Because again, he is a vulnerable guy who I feel eventually will have, you know, I really don't think he should be traveling abroad, to be honest. I don't think he's smart enough. I don't think he's street smart enough. I think that someone's going to catch up to him, and only God knows what could happen to him. There's so many stories of people losing their life or getting robbed and left with nothing. And I really feel that he also could be one of those guys. I feel for him. I watch him to try to see what he's doing new. I just recently started watching this man, maybe the last month and a half, and I've been really concerned after watching him for like a month and a half.
Today was supposed to be the day you're supposed to meet up. No response. Hey, how you doing? No response. No response. No response. Cause I'm lining them up, bro. Like, I'm the type of guy, I gotta line them up. I can't rely on what one woman says. I have to have multiple women, and multiple women, you know, just on a roster, right? So I have to be able to. A roster of women he has to have, and even out of that roster, he's gonna get a few of them they're not true to the game. They're true to their game. They're true to their intention. And again, he's gone through so many women in the little bit of time that I've watched him, at least 4 or 5 different women he's been affiliated with. And he feels like he needs to go through these types of women. But again, they're gonna line him up if he keeps going like he's going. I have to be able to have options. And the fact of the matter is, when you're dealing with women who lie, they lie, bro, it is weird. So when it comes to dealing with white women, I'm gonna have to give it to the United States. As much as I don't like being in the United States, at least the white women in the States, they at least fighting with you. They fighting with your boy. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to give it to the USA when it comes to white women, because they fucking with your boy. That's the truth. And I hate to say that, and I want to say something different, but the fact of the matter, the truth is the truth. But the truth is, when it comes to white women and dealing with them and having a good time, maybe if I have family, the United States is probably going to be your best place. Now, that's just the countries I've been to, right? I've been to Poland, I've been to Romania, and I've been to Argentina. Poland was the only country that gave me... Do you know how popular he's getting? He is getting very popular very quick, just like Austin Hollerman is. Again, they want more of this same attitude, the same movement, the same reckless thinking. They're hopeful that more and more Black American men will go this route, and a lot of them don't have good intentions. They're lying in wait for the likes of a Floyd. Yeah. Romanian women didn't give me a chance. I got no matches there. I got no matches in Romania. Zero. I had to, and then the fact of the matter is, when I code approach, they give me this, there's too much pressure. But in Poland, I got a chance. I've had some matches, but I never only met with one. Here in Argentina, I've been getting matches nonstop. Matches nonstop, but yet they're not fucking with me. What are you doing? Come on, stop. Movie in. And that's the last of the conversation. It's so much pressure for them to date Black men in Argentina. Unless you're dealing with a Brazilian woman or a different ethnicity. But see, the reason why he's so gullible, because he doesn't discern danger. He doesn't have a sense of discernment at all. He is reckless at best. He thinks he can handle as many women as he can get.
He doesn't understand that there are some men that are linked up to these women that are willfully trying to line up unsuspecting men such as him abroad. How many deaths have there been recently in the Colombia, in Chile, DR, and so forth and so on?
But if it's an actual Argentina, they're not dealing with you. It's rare that they do. They're fucking, I'm sorry, this is my experience. I've been here for 7 days, I'm already having bad vibes. I don't get like this unless I know something. And I know something. My body tells me things. And it tells me to get the fuck out of Argentina. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm listening to my gut. I'm not listening to the comments that tell me to stay. My gut tells me to leave. And I'm going with my gut feeling on this one. So I booked my ticket to Argentina. Now, Jack, I'm going to make you a mod. Where you at, buddy? I know you in here somewhere. Where you at? Where you at, buddy?
Okay, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat room. I'm sorry it took me a minute, but I really want y'all to understand how vulnerable passport bros are in a whole nother country by themselves and what it could be lying in wait with the tenders and all the things that they are relying on to get their tingle on with women, and they risk their life for the chance to try. And our society is gun-ho to try to keep men going out there doing these types of things, being reckless. And again, a lot of these men are getting caught up. We just don't know about it. That's it. We haven't heard yet. I'm hopeful that one person will get set free, that the story will be explained, because it really will shock and rattle Black Americans if they hear that one case. But that case is going to be hard to get because people don't want us to know. They really do not want us to know. Okay, let me go back up. Okay. You said for the collective, the term African American has more dignity, comprehensive richness, and said Black American is an appendage. These Pan-Africans out here trying to homogeneously clump us with them. Exactly. That's all it is, Tyron. You said, why are Kenyans and the Ethiopians forcing this back to Africa Bantu racial taxonomy shit on us like we don't have Indian blood or white blood in us and a different ethnicity from West Africans? Again, they don't want us safe. They don't want us to be hidden in a corner. They want us to be globally out there so that we'll be susceptible to the various things that are susceptible to them. Why spare us from the festivities of what they're going through? That's why they're so gung-ho about us traveling. Not only that, they want us to invest. They want our money. They want us to spend. They want us to keep on risking it all and putting our neck on the line, because they feel like that's the least that we can do because we don't have the types of things and problems that they have as far as being migrants. And I'm saying that you should look at the whole broader picture and understand that there are various intentions out there, and passport bros are in jeopardy. I'm pretty sure y'all know of different deaths that have happened. After I read more of these comments, I'm going to find the recent death that has happened, I think, to an Asian American from Razor Ray is his name, I think. Sheena says, I was on Twitter space last week. One of the speakers said she heard an African on another Twitter space say that they are not going to allow us to delineate. Again, that's what they're trying to force us to deal with them. They got it bad. They want to be our overlords. There's no such thing as unity when it comes to these Africans. And that's why I'm so frustrated with Pan-Africans, because they act like they don't see the writing on the wall. They play dumb. They're trying to take over and trying to make us do what they want us to do. That's why they don't want us to be on our own. They don't want us to have our own identity and our own pride, our own self-worth. They're definitely out to try to dominate us. And that's not what I desire to have done. Tyron says NFTs is just the equivalent of purchasing a photo bucket picture and having it in a vault. you can get for free on Google image search or Pinterest. Yes, it is just a picture. It's a fraud. It's not worth anything. And that's one of the things that 6 months ago, y'all can check it out. Dynasty Mir has NFTs that he advertised. Real quick clip, but he still advertised a Nigerian NFT. Don't listen to nothing that Dynasty Mir tells you to do. In my opinion, I would not listen to nothing, not nan thing that man has to say. What's up, Success Express? What's up, TJ Noor? Thank you for coming through. I really appreciate you. For those that are in the clouds and that don't know who I am, I hope that you guys are listening with a good ear and understanding that I am for Black Americans, indigenous to America. We are the topic of everybody's conversation. We are always being sought after for one thing or another. People are trying to have all these high expectations for us to spend money, to travel, to risk it all with whatever they tell us to do, like we're sheep. It's very disrespectful how Pan-Africans talk to us. It's very disrespectful how plenty of Western Africans talk to us. That's just the truth. Tyron says that African Yunfundu one used that Euro word like Dynas, like that Euro communist agent group and white supremacist who uses it too, and uses Mazungu like that divesting Latina loving raccoon Phil. Okay. Americans are being displaced for them. Exactly. That's the issue that we should be really trying to hone in on. The fact that we are being replaced. What we're going to do about that. All this other escapism, fleeing away from that reality, trying to pretend like you're still in fantasy la la land, is not going to bless us. But that's the way they want to keep us, all of them. That's why they're our enemies. Tyron says, beware of hoteps that appropriate and uses Swahili in their vocabulary and know nothing about West African languages because they use that African stuff for a communist CIA bag, okay? You said you're from Arizona, so do you see what happens in your situation? Are you near where all the migrants are at? I'm sure it's scary to see a flooding of men coming through. I cannot imagine the visual of that. That would just really depress me. Tell me what you see. Tyron says, beware of niggas who get defensive over Garvey, don't want to listen to constructive criticism about their Afrocentric leaders who preach about Africa idolatry, and they might be CIA, Boule, commie agents. That's what they are. That's what they are. They're all working against us. Again, for those that don't know, Pan-Africanism is anti-Black American. It is used to bankrupt us any way possible. It is used to encourage us to keep spending money, run around reckless, to have a lot of different things befall us specific, because that's the way in which they want to take away our power. That's the way in which they're trying to take away our choice. Once we don't have money, and once we don't have choices, what will you be? Pretty much a slave again. That's what they envision for us, and that's what I am fighting against. They are not on our side. Tyron says, and why do Pan-Africans use that Mzungu word, but never Obroni or learn West African? Is it a fact that word has been used on them when Black American tourists go, get treated as a white foreigner? Again, I don't care about the word usage because I'm not intending to hear the usages of those words in Africa. I don't intend to ever. There are Africans here in America. Why the fuck do I need to go to Africa for? If I want to really meet an African, I can meet one here. There is no reason in God's green earth that I must go to Africa. But this is the criteria that they're trying to place upon us for those that are lame enough to buy it. Tyron says, also, why do Pan-Africans play eugenics games like colorism, lucreship, picking and choosing who's Black, but force the African sub-Sahara label on us like Psychopathis, Renee, Q Butter, Lex Vortex, etc. They all are agents. They all are working. I think that a lot of those people are boule. I think that they've been raised up to be boule. And this has been the agenda for a long period of time. Just imagine just 10 years ago, we wasn't hearing any of this stuff. We were just Black Americans. Nobody fucked with us like that. And then suddenly now for the last 4 or 5 years, I've noticed every single day they're arguing with us about being called African. I'm going to be what I was 10 years ago. I'm going to be what I was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. I'm going to be what I was born as on my damn birth certificate. I have never changed. Black American. That's on my birth certificate, Black. So I don't know why people feel the need to try to put this pressure on us. But again, it's because we're part of an agenda. And that agenda is to try to usurp our power, our will, our rights, our choice, everything. That's why all these people are taking turns off of us, and they unified, taking turns off of us. They have no other unification other than joining forces to go against us. That's what they're doing. Tyron says exactly, in these Africans, they get buddy with that mock PUCCI and Ray Ray, and they hold 9-hour lives talking about Pan-African nothing burgers, aren't putting any protective measures for them. They be up there for all those hours. Why those Africans don't get monies together? What's wrong with their feet and hands and money? They talking about our money. That's what they're talking about. Our money. What can we do with your money, Black American? We need your investment. We need you to trust. We need you to let go of those dollars. We need to bankrupt yourself, break yourself. They're all in agreement to that, including Black American Pan-Africanists. They are traitors. Tyron says, in Pan-Africans gaslighting us, thinking Africans will let you go, will let you in on their economic blockchain when Africans don't control their own resources. Exactly. They try to feed us this line that they have all the resources. They have no control over their resources, though. Only one person is attempting to make changes with that new, they just had the coup in Burkina Faso that not that long ago. And so now he's trying to do different things that he's never did or they never did. And Burkina Faso, bless him for his attempt to try to do something different. Hopefully what he's doing will work. But it's not my business if it doesn't. It's not my business if it don't. Tyron says, hold on, let me put my battery on. This is getting low. Okay. You said Dinas, Ormani, Collagenesis, Sonetta, Jabari, Aslar, Kwesi can't go to the United Nations African Embassy to make laws to protect Black Americans in America, let alone in Africa. They can't do a goddamn thing. They are making money off of the dreaming of us. That's what it is. They're making money off of the dreaming of us. We have a fantasy in our mind. They tell us to shoot them some dollars. And they're working on our fantasies. That's what it is. They're selling us a dream. Tyron says Dinas ain't talking about or exposing African slavery, sex trafficking, sex tourism, Islamophobic scamming, diseases from born illnesses and environment in Africa, etc. Dinas don't talk about anything related to what Africans are doing wrong because he has an allegiance to them. And that's what he's intending to keep doing, is have an allegiance to them. He's never, ever going to do right by us. I just want y'all to know that. If you have this thought that he's going to get it together, he's not going to get it together. He's sold out. He kissed the ring, y'all. He's sold out. Okay, so what's up, Ben? Thank you for coming through. Success Express says it's interesting. She's shocked by slavery. I'm not really shocked by slavery. I'm just shocked that we haven't heard of a story of a Black American yet being caught up in modern day slavery from going abroad. I'm saying that we don't know of someone escaping to tell the tale of how they got tripped up and caught up into modern day slavery as a passport bro. I haven't heard of a case of that yet. Yes, we have heard of cases in America with human trafficking and whatnot, and other places with human trafficking and smuggling and all these types of things. But we haven't heard of a passport bro who has been caught up in modern day slavery or forced labor yet. And I'm hopeful that someone that is going through that will escape to live to tell the tale, so that we can know that this is actually happening to Black Americans abroad, because we're not getting no warnings, y'all. Tyron says they're not talking about is catfish bots, that porn spam on the dating sites, and people who just use it to get money from emojis from thirsties by just sitting there doing nothing for an hour, like porn stream. Okay, I don't know nothing about that, but you know, okay. You also said passport bros ignore the fact about African, Latin, Russian, and Asian countries use their traditional women zaddies to scam men and women out of money for their amateur porn spam. Okay, why don't the real men out here teaching lonely men to talk to American women in the real world, in your neighborhood, tri-state area, in the real world, then pay cash to find a mail order bride? I don't know about trusting that either. I'm going to wrap this up because my phone is about to die. I just realized my charger's not charging and I'm on only 13%. So I'm going to finish up the last reading. If you have any last comment or question, let me know. I am trying to encourage those to leave comments in my chat box, or not my chat box, but in my comment sections, to let me know what you think. Aren't we not protected as Black Americans, y'all? Am I making this up? Aren't people telling us to go out there and do the most? Aren't they telling us to throw money at Africa? Aren't they telling us to travel all over the place? Aren't they telling us to be passport bros? Aren't they telling us to keep up the gender war? Why don't you guys think that the gender war is here? It was designed to do what it's doing. It is designed that the passport bros came from following behind white passport bros. They have been working on trying to get us out there in the world for a reason. And the reasonings are showing up now. And the more and more that people are preaching that what we must do and what we're not doing, again, it is trying to make us feel like we're obligated to try something when they're not trying shit. And I say, don't listen to none of them. Save your money. Get ready for what's coming. We see a flooding of all these migrant men coming all over here. We got to get ready for weapons and whatever might come behind all these migrants coming. Ain't no telling what type of laws that may come and result behind Biden still in office. I say, don't get citizenships. You have the best citizenship in the world, the American citizenship. People are vying to be you. Stop letting people trip you up out of your greatness and being in you. Stop thinking that you have to appease strangers on YouTube that don't mean you no good anyways. They only want to use you for the time being. If something happened to you, they're going to say, oh, well, on to the next. So why put so much emphasis on these types of people that really, truly do not care? You said they want our self-worth to go to Africa under a Beyonce Black is King, Wakanda supremacist, hodgepodge, rather than promote our individual tribalism like Africans, Asians, Latino, and Caribbeans on. But it's a possibility a Black American can get caught up in slavery for being a passport bro or being a lynched victim and honor killings. Exactly. And no one ever warns us. Again, I and Kiki Loves Nigeria is the only ones that I have seen as of late that is laying it down to really thoroughly explain things. Everybody else is kind of not really there to care. And they're in promotion of our demise. And if you say something, oh, you're a self-hater. Fuck yourself. That's what I say. I'm not self-hating by warning my people. You just don't want us to be smart. And I'm telling us to not listen. The last thing that you said is gender war was designed to break the family from being powerful. The black supremacist homogeneous clump isn't meant to make us powerful, but arguing over ideological factions and belief on our origin. Exactly. It's not going to get no better, y'all. This is going to continue more and more and more, where people are trying to make demands on us that they would not ever want to put on themselves. But again, because many migrants that have fled their homelands have got caught up and riddled with so many different circumstances, that's why people don't care if we do get caught up. So we got to know better for ourselves. We got to protect ourselves despite what other people believe us not worthy, because that's what they want you to believe. You're not worthy. Keep on trying and risking it all because they said so. Okay? So with that being said, I really appreciate everybody for coming out. I hope that this enlightens some. I hope that, Floyd, if you're listening, that you would really consider going back to America. I think that you said too much in your lives about your life. And I think that there will be a time that you'll go somewhere and there will be a woman that you'll hook up with that won't be as friendly as you have been lucky enough to meet up with thus far. That's just my opinion, but you can do whatever you want to do. But I feel like you are in jeopardy, and I think that you're not smart enough to discern a woman's intention because you're so thirsty. Okay? So thank you for, I'm not going to get a StreamYard. I'm going to go to Afro Goddess or somewhere other place, but no, I'm not going to do a StreamYard. All right. Thank you all for coming. If you have not yet, please like and share the video, and bless up. If I could turn it off. Come on. Now it doesn't want to turn off.